Steve? Steve?
You're recording.
Okay. We're up to Kuf Yud Beis Amid Aleph. We deal with the sugya of Zugais, and we're dealing with the sugya of heebie-jeebie stuff, mazikim, demons, and we're continuing along that vein. A very, very straightforward daf. We're going to begin Kuf Yud Beis Amid Aleph, and we are towards the top of the page. The Tana, about 5 lines down. Tana, if someone puts food or drink underneath his bed, even if they're covered with a kli barzel, even if you have an iron, they're in an iron container, there's a ruach ra on them. It's very makbid to not keep underneath your bed any food underneath your bed. If you want to keep any stash away from the kiddies, keep it in your night table. Do not put it underneath the bed. You'll have company. You shouldn't drink water, not Tuesday nights and not Friday nights. If you do it, okay, we'll see Bez Hashem. We'll see this later on in the sugya. If you do drink it, what's the kana? So lame, you say Shiva David Alamayim that we just said today by Shachris for Hada Nishti, and then you could drink. Shnemar. It says Kol Hashem Alamayim, Kel Kavod here Hashem Alamayim Rabim, Kol Hashem B'Koyach, Kol Hashem B'Hada, Kol Hashem Shoiva Rozim, by Shav Hashem Azarzi Albonoim, Kol Hashem Choytzel Lavasej, Kol Hashem Yachal Midbar, Yachal Hashem Kodesh, Kol Hashem Yachal Yelois, V'Yachsof Yarois, V'Hechal Kula Yamakavod. V'Loy, and if you can't say that, what should you do if you drink the water you want to drink? Leim Hachi. The lashon is an incantation. You say Lul Shafan Anigron Anirdafan. Bein Koichve Yisivna, it sits between the stars. Bein Beliye Shemena Azilna, it goes between thin and heavy people. V'Loy, and if you don't know that lachash, if there's a person that walks with him, this wake him up and say to him, Planya bar Planya Tzachna Maya, so and so, I want to drink. And then you can drink. V'Loy Mikarkish Nichtama Chitzva V'Choda Nishti. Go ahead and take a barrel and bang the barrel and you drink. It's shade don't like noise. They only hurt single people. That's why if you're another person, you're good. Throw something into the water and then drink. At night, don't drink water from rivers or from agamim like swamps. If you do, again, you're going to cause yourself tsaris. My sakana, it's sakana shavriri. It's sakana of a shade called shavriri that can cause blindness. If you do drink, you want to drink, what should you do? If there's a person with you, let me say, I want to drink. That's enough. Again, the shade here is another person there, he's going to go away. He should say to himself, so and so, my mother said to me, meaning so and so himself, is daher mishavriri, be careful of shavriri, riri, yiri, ri, right? Sachina maya, because I'm thirsty to drink water from a new kli cheres. Okay. Anyway, for a second, we leave this stuff. We'll get back to it in a second. But even if the ani is so poor that he takes from the soup kitchen. We say there are different levels of aniyim. There's aniyim that go ahead and they take from the gabay tzedakah, and then there's the tamchle. Those are the poorest of the poor. So our Mishnah had said that even an ani b'Yisrael layifscholem yabakaisis, and then it says afilu an shebetamchle. So l'chayra, once you establish that an ani has to take from it, it doesn't make a difference what level of ani, whether it's the poor or the destitute. Nonetheless, they have to take it. So what do you have to tell me? Once you told me that even ashpili ani sheb Yisrael layifscholem a gabay tzedakah should not go ahead and give less than 4 kaisais. Why was it necessary to tell me afilu min hatamchle b'shita? After Gemara Nitzcha Allah filu Rabbi Akiva, even like Rabbi Akiva, the Amar who says, "Asay Shabbat chayil, bal titztarach lebias." Make your Shabbos chayil, but do not come on to people. So therefore, over here, you think that according to Rabbi Akiva, don't make your Shabbos chayil, don't come on to people. Hachim b'shem presuming nisa maida here because of presuming nisa is maida that even anani you should come on to people. Very just to explain this Indian. When Rabbi Kiva says "Asa Shabbat Zechor about Tzaras Tebrias," doesn't mean go to work on Shabbos Chas v'Shalom and then and not take from tzedakah. The Ben Yehoyada guys is medayik guys. The lashon, it doesn't say Asa Shabbos Chayil. It says Asa Shabbat Chayil, meaning your unique Shabbos. Don't spend. In other words, make your Shabbos Chayil, meaning don't buy food, don't buy fancy stuff for Shabbos that like you should. Rather make your Shabbos Chayil and not come out to people. We know that Shabbos is the din of Einik Shabbos. We saw Gemara in the Shabbos that Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel, the whole week they would get ready for Shabbos and buy stuff to cover Shabbos Kodesh. So if you can't, that's if you can afford it. Says Rabbi Akiva, if you can't afford it, do not borrow, do not take tzedakah for it. Right? Rather go ahead and make your Shabbos Chayil, meaning you're eating your lifestyle, make chayil. But chas v'shalom, don't treat the day of Shabbos chayil. Very meduik, the lashon Shabbat cha versus the lashon of Shabbos. It's Ben Yoyada, beautiful pshat. Tana be'Eliyahu. Afa pisha Amar Rabbi Akiva asay Shabbat chayil v'atzarach the brias to come out to people. Avloisu davar muad pesach beisay. Nonetheless, you should do something to cover Shabbos. And what's a davar muad? My nina, what is a davar muad? Amar Papa, it's kasi the hasana. It's this fish with some type of fried fish. I already knows how to make it. He likes it very much. Kedenan. Yehuda ben Tema, Omer, Yehuda ben Tema says, "Havi oz kanemer." You should oz kanemer. You have the chutzpah of a nemer, the kal kanesher, ratz katzvi, v'giba kari, last is some avicha shebeshemayim. So the Rashbam speaks on oz kanemer. You should have the assets of a nemer when it comes to doing the ratzon of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Is chazek b'mitzvahs yoysa mish yecholis miyadcha. Go be chazek in mitzvahs more than your financial state is. So that's what Oz Kanemet. Go ahead, in the chazek in mitzvahs, and so you should, even though you can't afford it, go ahead and do a little bit of something. Right. Tan Rabbanan. Shiva Devarim Tziva Rabbi Akiva as Rabbi Yeshua B'nai. Now you said Rabbi Akiva said treat your Shabbos as your Shabbat as chayil. So we're going to say the other six that he told his son. Shiva Devarim Tziva Rabbi Akiva as Rabbi Yeshua B'nai. So who is Rabbi Yeshua B'nai? Says Rashbam. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, who ben Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva's beno was none other than the Tana Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Rabbi Akiva kareya chaya. Rabbi Akiva was a bald. Kedamina mesech the b'chayris. Kol chachmei Yisrael daimel lefana kikli pashum, says Ben Azai. All Talmidei Chachamim are like me, like the shell of a garlic bulb. Chutz min kareya hazeh, except this kareya. That's Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, he was called after his father's nickname ben Karcha. Says Taisvis, Tziv Rabbi Akiva es Rabbi Yeshua B'nai, Pirish Rashbam, the who Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, Rabbi Akiva Kirei Chaya, Kedaminu B'chayris, Shahaya ben Azai Yoime Kol Chachmei Yisrael Doima Lefanai Kiklipas Hashum, Chutz Min Karei Chazeh. The ain nearest says Taisvis, Sheha Gemara Kirei Isai ben Karcha, Derech Genai, Sharinenshu Hanaorim Shekaru Elisha Ela Kireach. What happened to those kids who are called Elisha Kireach? They had a beer problem, right? The bears took care of them. So it doesn't make sense to say that Ben Azai Kori like half derech b'dichusa, he was derech like a joke. So he wants to say that Yeshua ben Karcha in fact was not Rabbi Akiva's son, because the Gemara, they would never call Rabbi Akiva a kireach bull. So there's a machlekes whether he was the son of Rabbi Akiva or Rabbi Yeshua was the different son. Anyway, he told him back to the Gemara. He told him 7 things. Don't sit at the high point of the city where people could tube shot them either, where people could see you learning and it'll stare you, or it looks like you're gaiva. Don't live in a city where the leaders are Talmidei Chachamim, because they'll be busy with their Torah and they won't take care of communal things like they should. But the base don't enter your house suddenly without knocking on the door, because people might be doing double tzniusa. Koshking in the base is certainly your friend's house. Don't you should always wear shoes. You know, again, those days I guess they don't wear shoes. He says for Talmid Chacham to go without shoes is disgraceful. Ashkem the Echel, get up early in the morning and eat Pekayitz Me'achama in the summer because of the heat of Bachayr Me'atzina. Ba'asei Shabbat L'chol V'tistarach L'brios, like we just said, and finally V'mishtadel Im Adam Sha'ashah Mechsachas Loi. If you see that a guy has good mazel, you should go ahead and join him in business. If he has good mazel, you should join him in business. I'm going to Papa. It doesn't mean that you should buy from him. It doesn't mean you should sell to him. It means that you should go ahead and make a shufis with him. Another pshat, that but the Eir says that anything he did his hands will get benched. Then kolanoita pruta me Eiv misparach. Anyone would take a prut from Eiv, he had the hatzlacha. So I feel a mitzvah even to buy from a person who has good mazel, or zune lego to sell to a person who has good mazel, then shapidami. So then that would be okay as well. That's good advice. So now that you told me good advice from Rabbi Kiva, that Rabbi Kiva gave his son, we're gonna have advice that different Rabbi Kiva gave to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and it'll go along the way. Chamish davar and siv Rabbi Kiva's Rishuv and Yochai kishay chavish beis asurim. When Rabbi Shimon was in the beis asurim, when he was in prison, so Rabbi Kiva gave the following advice. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said to Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi, lamdeni Torah. So Amar, Eini malachcha, I won't teach you. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said to him, if you're not going to teach me, and I'll tell Yochai my father, and will report you to the government. So that's a very mud. Right? He's threatening him. He's in prison already, so he's threatening him. Anyway, Pashib Shad is that you'll be in bigger trouble, right? So not Chas v'Shalom that he's threatening him. And he would do it. He's just showing Rabbi Kiva how much he loved to learn and how much he wanted to learn, how much he was willing to go the extra yard. I saw a very interesting pshat. I think in Sefer, I forgot the name of the Sefer. It's not Machmi Yehuda, could be. I saw it said in the Mesifta. He said pshat like this: if you're in prison, right, Rabbi Akiva, right? Guys, listen to this pshat. It's Peladik. Rabbi Akiva is the one who said, "Es nafshecha." Afilu what? Afilu HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked you to give up your nafshecha, right? You do. That's the Meister when Rabbi Akiva was when they flayed his skin, right? They said Rebbe, and he was smiling, he was happy because he was saying Shema Yisrael, because now he was going to die, and he was Mekayim as nafshecha, to give his nefesh up. So Rabbi Akiva was in prison, and he's willing to give his nefesh up. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says to him, listen, if you don't teach me Torah, I'm going to have my father report that you refuse to teach me Torah. Then the Romans are going to let you go for refusing to teach you Torah. And then you won't get a chance to tell Kiddush Hashem. So Mela, therefore, that was a good threat. He had a shot. He says, "I'm going to tell him that if you don't teach me, I'm going to tell my father that you don't want to teach me." The Romans then will say, "Oh, he doesn't want to teach Torah, and then you won't get a chance to become Mechal Nafshecha." A very, very happy shot. So Amalei Rabbi Kiva said to Rabbi Shimon, B'ni Yosmi Masha Egel writes like more than the Egel, the calf wants to nurse. Parah writes Lihanek, the cow wants to go ahead and give off and to nurse. Again, I'm the cow. I'm full of Torah. I want to give it to you. But what can I do? So I'm a loy. Umi b'sakana, loy Egel b'sakana. It's Egels and sakana. You won't eat. So I'm a loy. In B'kash Lichanek, if you want to get yourself choked, he told the Elon God, go hang yourself from a large tree, right? You go hang yourself from a large tree. So it's a very, very, very modern thing. So if you want to go put yourself in a situation that you have to decide halacha, right? From life or death question, go to a large tree, go to a big Talmid Chacham. When you teach your son Torah, lamdeni b'sefer mugo. Teach him what from a sefer that's correct. Ma'ahi amarav v'tem Rav Mashiach b'chadet, a new sefer. Shebishta kevan the oil. Because if you teach a kid from a sefer with a mistake, once the mistake goes in, it goes in. Now, then Rabbi Kiva continues telling Rabbi Shimon, don't cook in a pot that your friend cooked it. It's Gerusha b'chayi baila. It says that you should marry a divorced woman while the husband's alive. Damamar, Gorish Nasa Gerusha. If a divorced man marries a divorced woman, Arba Deus Bamita, you have 4 opinions in bed. You have, this 4 days in bed. Biba Isema, I feel about Almana, even Almana, you should marry, if you should call in call its boys Shabbos. All the its boys are not equal. The lesson of the man's aver. It's not equal. So mitzvah with guf gadol. If you want to do a mitzvah and make a lot of money, oichel peris v'lo schar, right? Oichel peris v'lo schar. That means that this is mashkanta de surah. If a person goes ahead and gives you $1,000, you say, "Listen, I don't have money to pay back. But give me a field, and I'll give the peris. I'll give it back to you at the end of 10 years." At the end of 10 years, you give it back to the guy. He gets his field back, and you use much more $1,000 than $1,000 in of money in that field. It's not it's not ribis, and we'll get the parak. Neshef will explain why. Miguf tahar, if it's a mitzvah and guf tahar, nice ishav like banim. You should marry a woman and to him and have children. Four things Rabbeinu Kodesh, Rabbi Nasi was mitzvah his sons. Al Toda b'shechansiv mishum b'leit sani have. They don't live in the town of Shechansiv. They're a bunch of sarcastic mockers. U'moshkolo b'leit suna l'joyu to leit sanas. Val teshev al mita amamis, don't sit upon the bed of a woman, a goyish woman. The Gemara gives a few reasons. Zikad yami like tignei b'lei kriya shema. But it doesn't literally mean you shouldn't lie in the bed of an Armenian woman. It means you shouldn't go to sleep at first saying kriya shema, right? As if you go to bed without saying kriya shema, you're like an agoy. If you could yami like tinos to giyaris, don't marry a giyaris. You could yami mois mamish. I mean, mamish sitting on the bed of a woman. She might sit up papa. The mice of papa guys of papa. She owed her papa money. She killed the kid. The papa sat on the bed. She accused her papa of killing the child just to save herself from paying him back, and he ended up running away. Don't go ahead and shake and pay, don't run away from paying taxes. They'll find you, they'll take everything away from you. Right? She not any tax return too badly, can not a good thing. Now tell me if they are sure when the shore comes out of the agam, don't go near it. The Sutton dances between his horns. Now there's a guy the Gemara says a woman should go to a cemetery by Levaya. It says because the Malachim is dances with a sword there. So that is Hebrew stuff. This is the guy's Meshuggah. When it means the Sutton dances between his horns, meaning when he comes out of the swamp, he's Meshuggah. He's tight Meshuggah. So stay away from a tight Meshuggah. The stuff that they don't teach you about the Kama, right? Stay away from an axe. I'm not Shmuel. B'shor shacha when you're speaking about a black ox and the days of Nisan. Then Mevin Yavin. Tanei Vaishya. Merchik mishar tam chamish ama. From a shar tam, stay away 50 amas. The shar is a bull. Mishar muad kimali eno. From a bull, right? That's a muad already. Go stay as far as you can where you can see. Tanei Mishar Meya. Reish tura b'dekula. If the bull has a basket that's attached to its head that it's feeding from, Sugla igra, go up to the roof, the shadi darga mitatof, and throw the ladder away. Make sure that the shar doesn't chase after you. Amarav, nizhad the tura hein. The bull, if a bull is chasing you and you want to chase him away, you say the lashon, you say hein. Nizhad the aryeh is zezeh. You see a lion, say zezeh. Nizhad the gamla, a camel, say dada. Nizhad the arba, a boat is hilni, hoya, hilka, chilki, choya. Okay, weiter. Amrabaya. Or dog v'kois chamim ubeitzim b'kinim lavonim, or fish, kois, hot water, eggs, and white lice. Kula koshel davracha, they all can cause tsaras. Or what that mean? Man de goni a moshka de tsala, someone who lies down on a unfinished skin. It wasn't finished tanned yet. Dog is shibuta b'yami nisan. You eat the shibuta fish in Nisan. Kais is shiure kosa the hasna. You eat of leftover fish ash. Chamin, hot water, is chamimi the chamimi, very hot water. Mishadru ilavei, they poured over him. Beitzei, eggs, is man de madre aklipa, you step on eggshells. Kinam levonim, white lice. Man de machabe levushe, he washes his clothing to get rid of the lice. He doesn't wait 8 days. It seems that it takes 8 days to kill them. And by Yohanach Kinam, they come back to life. The Koshon Davrach, and that causes leprosy, not leprosy, tzras. Amra Papa, base of this Beishunra, a house where there's a cat, like Neil but Inish blame Sunny. You shouldn't walk without shoes. My time, but listen to this reason. Cats, they kill snakes and they eat them. This Bechivya Gami Ktine, the snakes and their backbones, the little tiny bones. And you're walking barefoot and you step on it. The Yosef law, Gama the Kiva Kare, if you get stuck in his foot, a snake bone, well, enough it doesn't come out. And they stack him and put him in sakana. That's one pshat. It could be on the other say, based on the less Beishunra, a house that does not have a cat, like nail boy inish bachakwa, you shouldn't walk there at nighttime. Maybe the snake will wrap itself around you, mistaken, you'll be in trouble. Interesting. It doesn't say the snake is going to bite you. You're worried about a very big snake, a snake that can kill you with constriction. But 3 things Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi gave instructions to Rabbi, right? And the simon is makash. Don't put a moment to yourself. Mahi, what does that mean? Like the Havi L'Chadina Bahadi Tlasa. Don't go ahead and have a court case against three guys. The Chad Havi Balidin. One's going to be a Baldin, but Trey Sodi, the other two guys will be Avis. That's the first thing. Second thing, don't look at something you can't buy. Don't look at it. Because why? You may go ahead and cause another person who says, "Oh, I'm not interested in it because this guy's going to buy it," and it may cause the guy lost. That's one shot. When your wife goes to the mikvah, don't live with her the first night. Okay, so you have to. This needs explanation. Amarav ubenida deraisa. We're speaking about nida deraisa. Hoyel v'chuchzik mayim psuach. Since we're machzik that she's open, dilma mashka ziva. Maybe the ziva blood will come. Okay, listen, guys, listen up. We know that nida deraisa, the woman's cycle works 7-11. If she sees blood in a 7-day period, that 7-day period is damida. Even if she sees blood the last day and is mafsik at night, she doesn't see it at night, you can live with it at night. You go to the mikvah, you can live with her. The next 11 days, if she sees blood, that's called meziva. If she sees twice, she's a zava. If she's 3 times, she's a zava, and she has to count 7 days and bring a carbon. Good? So if your wife sees on the 7th day of nida, do not live with her that night. Because let's say she saw that day, and even though she got to the mikvah, it may be it's still open. I mean, she may see the first day of a ziva period. So that's what it means over here. It doesn't mean Bisman Azeh when our women Bisman Azeh all not like Zava Gedela. They all keep Zion the key. Okay, so that's what it means over here. Shlosh Devarim Siva Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda's Rabbi. Al Teitzi Yichid V'Layla. Don't go out alone at night. Val Talmud B'nei Aner Orim. Don't stand in front of a ner without clothing. Val Tikonis LaMerchatz Chodesh Shema Tipaseh. We learned from Sefach Shabbos, right? You got to be careful. That they used to have the heat from the bottom over there, and the heat would come up, and the Chas v'Shalom, if the floor would break, you'd end up falling into this pit abyss of hot stones. You'd be in trouble. At Kama, how long is a new bathhouse? I'm Rabbi Shuman Levi at Shteimas Taidish. Let a year pass before you use it. If they are ner orim, don't stand in front of a ner orim. The Tanya, if they are ner orim, having nichba, you can come in suffer from epilepsy. Mishamish mitasei l'ora ner, have a leibanim nichmin. If you have tashmish bar ner, your children will be what they'll have epilepsy. Mishamish mitasei al mita shetina yashin alev. Someone has tashmish, but there's a child sleeping on the bed. That child will be an epileptic. If it's not a year old yet, less than, but it's a year old, you don't have to worry. It says only the child is at the foot of the bed. Less than above. It's at the head of the bed, you don't have to worry. Right? He doesn't if he doesn't, you only have to worry if you don't put your hand on the head of the child. Less than above. If you put your hand on the child, you don't have to worry. Okay, I'll take the Yechid of Elaylo. Rabbi Yosef told him, Ben Yehuda told him, what does that mean? The Tanya, you shouldn't go alone at night. Now we're going back to the original problem. Not Tuesday nights and not Friday nights. There was a shade called Agris Bas Machlas. She and 180,000 Malchei Chavala go out those nights. Each one has permission by itself to go ahead and do harm. So you got a problem. Now why don't we have to worry about this? Why Tuesday and Friday? They were originally, these guys were every night. They met Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa. This Agra said to Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa, he allowed the Machriz and Allah Barakiyah. If they didn't say to you in Shemayim, is here Rabbi Chanina b'Tairasa, be careful Rabbi Chanina and his Taira, Sakantich, you would be in Sakana. So Amalei Rabbi Chanina said, Ichashiva Barakiyah, I'm so chashiv in Barakiyah, goes over near Alayich, I'm goes on you, Shlei Tavori b'Yishav Lo'ilam. You should get out of here. So Amalei, I'm begging you, Shavikli Ravcha Purta, cut me a little slack, something. So Shavikli Leila Shabbos is later Vias. He left those 2 nights where he thought that people would be out. People were out Sunday, they were traveling to court on Monday. Monday, they were traveling away. Tuesday, there was no reason to be out. So on Wednesday, they're already traveling to court on Thursday. Thursday, they're traveling away, so left Friday. So therefore, those are the 2 nights. The Suchad is in the Paga Be'abaya, she met Abaya. And Amrulay, she told Abaya, he loved the Nichaz Allah Merakiyah. If they didn't say in Shemayim, his Haru bin Achmeni B'Teirasai, Havi Sakantech, I put you in Sakana. So Amalei, Ichashiv Merakiyah, if I'm so chasim in Shemayim, because Rani Lacha Shloi Tava B'Yishav Lo'ilam, right? You shouldn't be here at all. So Abaya's Pegisha with him stopped it completely. Furthermore, Chazin and the Avro, we see that they do pass by. They said, no, honey, those that pass by is Gazaisa Ninu, The shamte susoya vasa devayo. These are. This is very weird. These are shadim. The shamte susya. The horses ran away. The yasu davralai, and then they ran away and they went to get the horses back. So very, very, very strange Gemara. Very, very strange Gemara. Okay, we'll get back to some more strange Gemara tomorrow night.
8:30 home game, right?
What?
8:30 home game tomorrow night. Sure.
8:30 at